How to light beautiful drama pictures for Nintendo? Hi, I'm Steven. Welcome to Light Study, where I break down lighting in videos so you don't have to. So let's see what we got here. Okay, we're opening up to a... Alright, so this shot here is all the same. They didn't change anything. So, and this is the best shot for that. Okay, perfect. So we have a kicker coming in. And that's what's hitting all of this, hitting all of this. It's what's edging all of this stuff. It's what's edging all of this. Is what's hitting his head. It's just the sunlight coming in, man. They chose specifically this angle to take advantage of this shot. Now, the original angle was coming in this way, in which case the sun would be 90 degrees to camera. 90 degrees gives you wonderful contrast. It will literally light up, like if you shoot this person at 90 degrees, it will light up half of their face. And then the other half of their face will be in shadow, which creates wonderful texture, wonderful contrast. And so he started off with the 90 degree side light, and now he's moved around, he's wrapped around and allowed it to serve as a kicker for this shot, this close-up shot of this kid here, and it looks like that's it. It looks like there's no other modifiers here. Bam. And same shot, where the previous shot we were pointing this way, and now we are pointing at the little red barn, where the sun is now not quite 90, not quite, but almost. It's getting there. It's wrapping around more sidey. And so you can see, oh, there it is. There's that line. See that line? Ooh, am I good? Ooh, right up there, point of origin. You can even trace these shadows. It's going to be harder because it's this guy casting over there and it's at an angle. Anyway. Boom. So there's that. Oh, this is cool. So this is so easy, man. So dark night shots are so fun because you have just a ton of contrast. That's all it is. It's just contrast. You get, instead of shaping things, you get to pick where you add lights, and then because you have darkness everywhere else, it makes it look so contrasty. And while this is not as contrasty as, say, a horror movie, it is still quite contrasty for a Nintendo video game. So within genres of video work, you have latitude of contrast to play with. And so for here, they have what's very likely like a frame. It may be on the ground. It is definitely on the ground. It's probably a 4x4 frame. And it's like way past the couch, but it's shooting in this way. And again, I would use 216 for that, because 216 is, that was a crappy, I would use, because 216 is just so easy to work with. Now, if you you can also, you don't have to use that. You can use like if you wanted something even bigger source, like an 8x8 raw monstrosity. You can use a magic cloth. Ooh, yeah, that'd be cool. Magic cloth. You would need more power, but it would still give you a nice glow. I think 216 is probably good for this, though. Dealer's choice. So you have this side push here. Gosh, it's ugly. All right, you have this side push here is hitting this, and it's far enough away that it's not making a hot spot here, and then him being dimmer. These are very well controlled. It might also be that they put like a net here to cut off this light here and this light here. But I don't think so, because if you look at the carpet, it seems consistent. Although it does look like his face is a little brighter than that. Ooh, maybe they did use a net. There's so many things that you can do. So you have that side source. It's even hitting the couch up here. It's hitting Monkey Man. And it's hitting whatever the hell that is. And then you have these practicals. It depends on how big this shoot is. This is art. This could either be art department or it could be the DP saying, hey, I brought some lights, throw them back there. But it should be the art department. Not every light is placed by the DP. There's a commingling. There's a teamwork there. And then we have a second light over here going bleh. It looks like it's a harder light because you can see that shadow. And it looks like, no way, is that true? It looks like it's coming from somewhere over here, up high. It might just be a Fresnel, like a Fresnel on a dimmer or something. And you can get away with stuff like that, absolutely. You just put like a light on a stand over here, point it at the ground, and let it go. Maybe throw some diffusion like on the barn doors themselves, just to like soften it up a little bit. You could also just, or maybe a panel light, because nobody uses tungsten anymore, right? So it could just be a stand with a a Nova panel, and that's it. And then obviously you have the frame here. It's softened, hitting his face, beautiful. That's it. That's all the scene is. Woo! That kid stole that stuff, little monkey. Oh, look at that. I wonder if it's a little higher, but there's definitely a source down here. So I wonder if they have two sources. I wonder if they have a source down here for this kid and then a source up here to continue the trend so it feels believable. Or maybe they just have a lamp, up here and then they added a frame with their own source to continue that trend onto the kid's face. Anyway, moving on. Oh, it looks like it was all just practical stuff. That was pretty fast. You can get away with that. I mean, you probably use a fill card in the face, but I mean, the camera's moving so fast, you can't get out of the camera's way fast enough. Here we have a source up here doing something. Obviously you have some art lights. Then you have, you see this hot spot right there? And this hot spot, those are reflections of whatever source they have over here shooting in. That's literally reflecting the diffusion. So there's something over here shooting in and doing that, and it's getting cut off. So interesting. I would have placed it right here shooting 90 degrees so it would light up mom's legs and her face, and it would make this really bright, and it would light up kid's face. I wonder why they chose to do it that way. They have it back here shooting and hitting just this part of the wall and reflecting right there. It's very strange. But that's all that there is, and then there's this one little practical light to kind of light up these pumpkins, because otherwise it would be hella dead, right? So you don't want that. You need something there to fill it, and they added something there. It could be a tube light. I would imagine it's something long, like a tube light. All right, moving on. And the rest of the room was natural fill. Here we have a practical, but it's not really playing. I mean, it looks like it could be hitting him and hitting that, but that's kind of the extent of it. I mean, it's hitting there, right there. You have that little spot. You have another spot right there. So, but other than that, it's not really doing very much. What's going on here is that blue? Cool. So do you see this this blue right here on the cabinet? There's a little bit more up here, but this right here, all of this is a source that's reflected from, I want to say it's from, I think it's the same blue light that's hitting her back. So there is a source back here, way back there, that is pushing on the scene. It's being moonlight, and I think that's what's hitting up here as well. So all of that is the same source. The reason why this is brighter, because it's a reflection. It's a hard reflection, whereas these are diffuse. That's the light rays actually hitting that, and this is the light rays hitting this and reflecting. This is a very flat surface, so it's going to reflect brighter. That's why. Kind of like a miniature dull mirror. And so you have all of this, and then this is a kick light showing that there's a frame over here pushing on the room, and then they have a toppy source. Oh my goodness. Right. I'm not quite sure how big it is. They have a warm toppy source doing this. And it's wrappy enough that it can see that side of that. So I think it's ending right here, and that's what's hitting this. That's kind of what's hitting the shoulder, but it's clearly leaving a shadow right there. Yeah. So this shadow is indicative of what the light is not seeing. So hell, this might even end right there. So you'd have, oh gosh, it looks like crap. Anyway, so I think the light is doing this. Oop, where's yellow? The light is doing this. And so that can be, I mean, there's hundreds of fixtures. There's probably thousands of fixtures out there. You can do this with a light mat, like a light mat 4, fantastic. You can do it with, more difficult if you bounce, but you can bounce, and you'd have to flag off the side. So if you bounced a light into it, which I would not suggest doing because it's a pain in the ass for this particular setup, you can flag, and that would keep this warm light from ever hitting the walls. But it's just impractical. It's so much easier to just rent a matte light with, say, like an egg crate. If you wanted an egg crate, you don't need one. I would get one for this, actually. Yeah, and then that makes it a lot more directional. However, like I said, you don't need an egg crate. So instead of having it flat overhead, you can have it at an angle as like a more backlighty. And so that would be pushing on everybody. But then you would see more of a hotter edge here, and it wouldn't fill in this side of her face. So I think it's just straight up a top light that they have a honeycomb on. I think they have a honeycomb. It might even be a large. If they have a honeycomb, then it's going to be a lot larger. So I think if it's a honeycomb, and then it's like an, let's see what we got here. It's hard to tell. I think so. I think it's an 8x8 with a honeycomb. Or it might be a couple fixtures with honeycombs. You can do it whatever you want. So, but they have a top light up here. Then they have a moonlight over here. And then finally they have a like a fixture, a moonlight fixture out here that's shooting in. And that's what's hitting all of this and hitting all of this outside. It's hitting all of that stuff, and it's kind of coming in here a little bit. And then this might be I think that's what's creating that. It's hard to tell how blurry it is, whether or not this is a negative for this wall. Doesn't matter. Anyway, so that's that scene. Boom. Yeah, and so the same light was hitting that kid in the face. It's also hitting everybody else just fine. You can see how soft it is. Oof. Yeah. There you go. That is your source right up here. Looks like a 4x4 frame. And the kid's like, no. What they did here is they kept the same exact setup, and then they added like a lamp over here. This is art. And of course, it could also be the DP saying, hey, I need light over there, and Art places a little lamp over here. And then they have a moonlight in this back room shooting in. You can just literally point it at the wall, and it'll fill up, point it at not the wall that you're seeing, but you point it at this wall, and it will bounce back. Or if you wanted to do the extra work, you can place the fixture here, and then place an extra frame, and let it do its thing as well. So it doesn't matter, it's up to you. Again, dealer's choice. That kid walks away all sad. Oh no. Ooh, exterior shot. What did they do? What did they do? Absolutely nothing. They just picked the right time of day. Is it a right time of day? Well, you have some sun hitting this, and then you have some shade on this side. Is it 90 degrees? I don't know. You definitely have sun hitting this stuff. And I want to say it's sun because check this out. You see that right there? That is from a sunlight that is from somewhere up here. There's a sunlight somewhere up here. Yeah, they could have, now do you see this bright spot right there? They could have added their own fixture here, like a big light. I'm talking about like a big light, like an HMI, and that could be pooping all over this as well, but I seriously doubt it. I don't know what that is. It could just be the sky, and the rest of the darkness is like the trees and stuff over here. You can also see these. Oh, there's a Nintendo box. You can see these shadows. You can trace this up to, what is this? What is this? Trace this up to, I think this belongs to you, and then the rest of this belongs to these things. So the sun is like up here somewhere. There, that's it. It's a wide shot. Sometimes, like for exterior stuff, especially wide stuff, you can't do very much. And you shouldn't really try to. It'll just be a lot of hard work. Yeah, the sun is definitely over here somewhere shooting in, because you got the nice, beautiful, you have this nice, beautiful edge, beautiful back edge. Sun is over here going like that. It's creating that edge. So it is what's doing this. It is what's doing that. Oh, this is, you see that tiger, you see that lion's lit up more? It leads me to believe that the sun started off over there and then it arcs this way. And so they shot the beginning shot maybe right here where the sun was just peeking over, and then they got the rest of the coverage further in the day where it's now seeing this tiger. Either that, but they're definitely, there's a time gap in between them. It might be that this is the first shot and then they got the wide shot later. I would have gotten the wide shot first, and then as the sun treks, it becomes more your friend because it's backlighting. It's backlighting, it's creating this, it's creating that. And so this is what you would want. And so for the personal interest shots, like, I mean face, like emotions, you want to make those look as good as possible, and not your wide shot, especially if your wide shot's going to be only a few seconds. It's just an establishing shot. And so look, the sun is even hitting off of one of these one of these windows is on the other side, like over here. The sun is hitting off of that and reflecting back, and it's creating this this texture. It looks like they have bars on their doors. All right, here we go. And these little things are added by art as well. I still don't think they added anything to the face. Now this they might have. It looks like they did. I think to get rid of that spackling, they would have put up a frame. I would have definitely put up a frame just to get rid of the spackling. And that could be a 6x, it could be an 8x. Remember, the smaller you go, the more constricted you are in space. So the larger you get, the time to set up really doesn't matter. They're all kind of the same. The 6x takes a little bit less time, but ultimately 6, 8, 12. Go with the largest you can physically fit in your space, because so long as it's not a problem, like logistically, there's no reason not to go larger. So you can see right here, this is the same setup. You see how his hair is not as lit as this? And because it's the sun, they're both supposed to be lit up the same, but his hair is a lot more diffuse. So I think that they had a frame over here. And I think that this is probably a continuation of that original shot that we got. I would say it looks to be, definitely. Either that, or it just so happens that there's enough spackle here that it's, but that's a little crap now. They have a frame up here. By the way, what's on that frame? It's up to you. You could use a half grid, quarter grid, full grid. It's totally up to you. Oh my goodness. This is a giant source. It's hitting his face. It's hitting his face. It's hitting her face. it's looks like it's what's casting this shadow right there. Yeah. This circle is casting its own shadow. And then this right here is casting its own shadow. So whatever the source is, it is up here, shooting in. You can even see it on the chin, it's shooting that way. So they have a big soft source, and then they have a kicker light that's creating this edge. Then they have another kicker from somewhere. Hard to tell. I think it's from up above. That's shooting. Gosh, they have another one over here. Maybe these are like house fixtures. It's creating, definitely creating that. And definitely hitting that. That's what's coming over here. And then you have this. Oh, that one's also hitting that edge. But then you have this light just coming from over here. And then this one is creating this, which is much hotter than this side. So this light right here is much further away. This light right here is much closer to this dude's shoulder. And that's what's creating all of those edges. So you have a key here, a big one. And then you have some hard lights, which are probably house lights. In fact, you know what? I think that this kicker isn't there. That kicker is probably another light over here that's doing this. They have like an array of house lights. And then we look at the empty seat. Oh, looky there. There they are. So they're placed fixtures. And this is a standard tabletop setup. I wonder if they'll get to it. But basically, it's you have a source in the middle and between 1, 2, 3, 4 people. And to get it to shoot straight down, you skirt it. So you skirt your source. And so the light just shoots down, and that keeps the light off of the walls. So there's a little bit of that light right here. It's hitting right there. So and so that's how you do that. And then at that point, and then you just pockmark with pockmark. You set it up with extra little beauty things just to give it some interest. And like here, they got like some type of moonlight coming in. That's it. Here's that wide shot, and there's that thing. They definitely have it skirted off. It's coming down, it's hitting everybody's faces beautifully. It's barely, no, it's not even hitting over there. What is this? It might be, maybe this is one of their shadows, but this light is definitely coming from over there. So this light is definitely coming from over there. Then they have some art, and then what else? Oh, haze. They've added haze. I know an art guy who's totally into haze. He always wants to add haze to everything. And this is the same getup. Oh, there you go. You have a source over here shooting in. Gosh, what's this long ass video? Source over here shooting in. It looks like it's a hard source-ish. Oh my gosh, because it's soft right there. There's that Rembrandt triangle. It's not hard, it's softish. Maybe they got like a 4x4 frame with the big light out there shooting in. It might even be like a 1200. You can get quite a bit of output with the 1200D. But if not, it could be like what? Hey little dude. It's a June bug in July. Yeah. So you can have it's just a big source out there, and they likely did not cut down the windows. It's a pain in the ass, and it's expensive. And it's time consuming. It's both expensive for the materials, but also you have to pay somebody to do it for that much time, and you're kind of down waiting for them to complete their task. And if it doesn't look good, or if clouds roll in, then you have to pull it off. It's just a waste of time. Don't ever do that. Don't ever put ND on windows. Balance your light with the windows instead. So That's what they got here. There's that. Oh, it's a square. I was right. So they got some type of, or the square could also be the window. But anyway, they have a hard light shooting in through here, and they definitely powered these windows with something. And then they closed the blinds so you can't see the source. So they probably have a giant frame, like a 4x4 frame outside of these windows. They're just punching them in. And then they hid the source with these blinds, and then you also have these like shears. And then these shears, this is good camera. It's got a good dynamic range because you can see all the detail in these shears, even with the hard light punching through them and trying to blow them out. And then of course you got haze. And then oh, he's opening up a box. There's this beautiful soft light coming in. Oh. Oh, there you go. Oh, yeah. That's why they did that. Oh, look at this. I think they opened up. Did they open up the blinds? I think they did. So it would show. Yeah, I think they did. So it would show up more on his face. Oh, you can do that. I mean, yeah. It's called cheating. You totally just to get that lovely shape on the face. You place him in the right position to get this lovely shape on the face. And you don't have to design this all in the beginning. You just have to know that you're shooting in this location and that you need this shot on the face. And then once you get there and you're finally getting to this shot, and the AD's like, all right, we got to get this shot right here. And you're like, okay, I want to scooch them further back that way, which is totally cheating. I'm going to cheat them further back that way in order to line them up with this window in order to hit the face. That's easy. You either do it that way, or you both land there and you figure out, okay, if we place the box here, then when we get to this shot, we can already have them in this beautiful light. So either way, it doesn't matter. It doesn't matter. It's teamwork. So here we go. But like I said, you have the window here on the face. What is this? This is a kick from this hard light that's coming in here, right? So that's just what that is. It's just a kick from the window light. And the rest of it, I want to say this shadow is filled in. I would have filled it in. Now you have white all over the room, which is naturally going to fill the face. It might be that there's also white behind us, and so that's what's adding this fill. If not, if it ends up being too dark, just add your own white, and that's it. And he smiles, and he's like, oh, yay. Okay, so we got these kiddos. Let's back up a little bit. I want to see that again. All right, so we have, what is this from? Is that from the lamp? Gosh, what a strange, where are these freaking shadows coming from? But you have this line there. You have that line there. That's an artificial line, by the way. That is artificially softened. Which means that it's there's a hard light over here shooting in. And then they've taken a flag and then they've chopped it off the top. Now, you can get a softer or a sharper cut by the distance. So the further you are away from your light, the more fine that cut is. Okay? But the closer you are to the light, the more blurry, the more softer that cut is. So that's what they did. However, there is still some light spillage from something over here that's filling in that area. But this is getting much darker. Okay, so here's a shadow of this lamp. There's something, okay, this is the same source. So check this out. So you see this lamp, and you have that shadow of lamp pointing this direction. See how this wood curves? Curves are wonderful because they can show you where the sources are. See how this wood curves? You have source right here. I want to say behind kiddo, there is a soft light. Or some type of soft source. I want to say that this right here is the same as this reflection in the glass. See how broken up it is? That is very likely shears or blinds, and the skylight is shooting through, and so it's naturally doing this. So this is a natural thing, this is a natural thing, and then this stuff is natural. It's just the window light. That's all it is. I would say it's window light, and then they've added in their sun, whatever, maybe this is a shadow from that, and this is a shadow from the TV box, I guess. I don't know. I mean, like, then what are these? I don't know what those are. Anyway, that's what that is. That was way too long for that silly setup. And then we have, from the same direction, sun is shooting in. So what we have is two sunlights. We have one for the background sun, and that's what's hitting this, and it's shooting specifically at the background, and it might be what's doing this as well. I'm not sure. Okay, so you have a little bit of this. I think this is all one source. All of this is one source. And then you have this giant shadow, and you have this, and this, and this. Then you have another, no. What is this? There's another shadow. Couch is casting on this, and then this is getting lit up, and that's getting lit up. So what I would say is happening here is that you have a source that's hitting specifically the background, and it's doing all of this work. That's your one source. You will have another source, not quite sure where this one is coming from. I'm not quite sure where this one is coming from. But then you'll have another source. So there's more than one source. There's another source that's shooting across. Oh, maybe it's the same source. And that's what's hitting this. So your second source is hitting your middle ground. So you have one for your background. You have one for your background light. You have one for your middle ground light, which is all of, actually, it's just foreground. Foreground. So there's two suns. Yeah, I was right. One and then two. So background and then foreground, which is hitting this, and it's also hitting these kiddos. Now you notice that these kiddos are a lot less hotter than the light hitting over there, right? It's because they're getting diffused. There is a diffusion right out of frame. So you have a diffusion right out of frame that's hitting these kiddos. It's intercepting that sunlight. And I would say that I would have made it a frost. I don't know what they did. It's kind of blurry. Hard to tell. The more texture you see on the skin, the better, the more information you have on the source. It's pretty dim because the hair is not reflecting very much. Anyway, so that's that. And then looks like they have a little glint in the eye on the camera's right. Can't tell over there, but you can see right there. Oh, there it is, right there. So there is either a fill source over here, just like a white card, or it's this sunlight, coming in and hitting that white wall. Because remember, we have white wall, so it's that. But either way, it's creating this nice soft fill. You can see that it's dark on this side. It's dark, but it's not black. And you can see this kid's face is even lighter. It's not as dark. So there's something white over here that's getting hit by this sunlight. That's it. Boom. Moving on. this is the same shot. They didn't change anything. Now you've pointed your camera in a direction where your sunlight is no longer 90 degrees. It is backlight. The sun is back here shooting in, and it's creating all of this lovely... Why? I wonder if it looks blurry because they use like a mist filter. I wonder if they used a mist filter. Anyway, and it's what's kicking off of this controller here. And it just gives you this wonderful edge. Wonderful. They didn't change anything else from the previous setup. Here we are at night. You have art light. Of course, this is playing a significant role here. You can see it kicking off right there. What is this? This is lit up. Oh, that's from this thing. This lamp here, because these are translucent, is doing this stuff, and it's casting a shadow. I want to say that's what it is doing. It's also casting that shadow. There's something down here that's doing that. Yeah, because that lines up with this. So maybe maybe these lamps extend down below. I'm not quite sure. Or there's something else. I don't know. I think it's this lamp. I think I think there's these bulbs that extend down below, and it's causing the shadow here, and whatever that is, and then the light's just shooting off that way and creating that shadow. So anyway, those are the practicals, right? And then you have, what do we have here? This light is casting these shadows. And then you have something right here. You see all this back here? That's not these lights. There is something to the side, 90 degrees out of frame, that's giving you this beautiful side light, and it's just kissing the side of the hair beautifully. And you can see right here, boom, light, dark. So that's literally 90 degrees. Looks gorgeous, doesn't it? Freaking gorgeous. Oh, there's a wider shot of the same thing. Same thing, you can see clearly there's 90 degree side light. Oh, but look, this kiddo's face is lit up. And you can see there's shadow right here. So there is, maybe it's this lamp doing that. And in a case like this, when you need to see actors' faces, you can sometimes, it's really, you just see what happens. So you set up all of this stuff, you set up all your stuff, you put your light right there, just as a side push, it's hitting this guy, this maybe your hero, but maybe this kid ends up being too dark. And because this light over here isn't, pushing enough. And so then you have to add your own, another little fixture, maybe underneath here, to hit their face. Is it natural? Absolutely not. Does it look good? It's debatable. But can you see their face? That's the important part. I would say, I think I see a glint. There's probably just a white card down here that's collecting this light. Because this is bright enough. See how bright that freaking kid's face is? It's going to hit this, and it's going to bounce up, and it's going to lift up his face. Maybe it's just right underneath here. That's probably where I would have placed it, right underneath here, just so you can see his face. Boom. Okay, so this is front light. Gosh, holy crap. It's a long ass, this is a long commercial. Practicals aside, obviously, you have some, what the heck is this? I say obviously, and I don't even know what the heck this is. I don't know what that is. Huh. And it's shooting that direction. I don't know. Well, Art has placed all of these under cabinet things and whatever the hell that is. And then you obviously have little bulbs there. And then that's it. And that's it for the background. All of this stuff is a reflection of the background lights, all of these things. So that's all your background. I want to say it's even filling up here, but that's not normal. It should be dark up there. I think they added something on the floor to shoot up, so it could create this glow, because there's no reason for this to glow. You can even see, like, there's a shadow there. Like, oh, there you go. There's the shadow, right? Yeah, there's a shadow. There's a light source. I mean, it could be this. Is it this? Maybe. Maybe these guys are doing that. You know what? They are. Because you can see this is brighter than this. It tapers off. So it tapers off. Yeah. So they didn't do anything to the ceiling. That's just natural. Okay, cool. So whatever the hell that is. So that's the background, right? Background's all taken care of. As a shooter, I always attack the background first. And then you know what level. So because once you set your background, then you have set like a level, and then you can find where the face is going to live. If it's going to live up here, it's going to live down there. You can dial your face in. You don't want to. I don't light the face first and then try to match the background to it, because it's so much more work. What if these bulbs end up being too bright? What if you don't have control over them? What if they're like standard tungsten bulbs and you lit the entire face, the front part, too dim, and then you have to go back and it's just extra work. Start with the background first. It's so much easier, because the face is pretty simple to light. So here we go. For the face, you can see the glints. You can see the glints. What is this? Oh, there's a couple things going on here. So you see his hair, how his hair is lit up. See how this is the brightest spot? You can see it right there. There's a kick, there's a kick. That means that there is a light right up here. Oh, you can even see the veiling. Not the veiling. Not a lens flare. It's they hazed up the room, and you can see the haze glowing right there. So they have like, it's probably a tube light. Yeah, because you can see it's hot right there, and then it kind of fades off. Well, is that what tube lights do? I don't know. It's hard to tell. I would have used a tube light. Who knows? So that's what's doing that. And it's kicking the hair. And it's doing that. And it's kicking the shoulder. Look at that popped collar. And that's what's creating these hot spots over here. And it's much dimmer over here. Yep, definitely. I think there's a tube light right there. Excuse me. And then they have, for the eyes, probably just a panel light. And if you want to soften that panel light, gosh, I've got a hiccup. If you want to soften those hard edges, you put an opal frame in front of it. Opal, which will then blur the edges of this, and it'll just make it slightly more timeless. Okay, moving on. There we go. He's remembering. Oh yeah, looks great. Oh, that's just a shot. Oh, it's freaking dramatic. Obviously, there's a light right out of frame. You can see it's blowing this part up, and this is a good camera, right? Look at all this detail here. You can't see anything. Look at all of this detail here. You can see it. You can see this detail. You can see this detail. You can see this detail. So it's a good camera, but right there, it's blown out. So, and you can see how there's detail here, detail there, but then it gets blown out. So there is a light like right there, and it's shooting into this room full of haze, and they've got it spotted in. It's like spotted in. It's great. It's a beautiful hot spot. Look at that gorgeousness. And it's hitting the floor. They're doing the old, that's an old cinematography trick where you have a hard source poking in through a window and have it hit a floor or hit a flat surface so hard that it bounces up and it lights everything around it. And that's what's casting on here. That's what's casting on here. It's what's doing all of this. It's just lighting up all of this. What Robert Richardson does that. He does that. Where you'll have like a table. You have a table, and then he'll have like a light shooting down, and it'll just bounce everywhere. And you have people sitting around the table, and it's so bright, it's like blown out. It's totally unnatural. Here, this is more of a natural situation, and it's just going everywhere. And then finally, they have they have a nice soft moonlight. So here, check it out. Doesn't this look kind of strange to you? It do, and I'll tell you why. Do you see this, the fence? That fence looks kind of dark, don't it? That fence is very dark, in fact. And look over here. This is bright. What's going on? This is shot at night. It is shot at night. It is dark outside. The sun has set. And they have placed a light out here, which is why this light is so prominent, which is why it's so freaking bright. And it's also hitting, well, I don't know if it is. Is it hitting anything else out here? Is it hitting part of this and bouncing back? I don't know. Maybe they added something to like light up the fence units, or maybe not. Maybe what I would have done is had a 4x4 card and a little light over here. Not a little one, a powerful light enough to shoot up, so it's like on a pigeon plate, and it's shooting up, and it's going to hit this, and that's going to act as a sunlight. And then you'll have your sunlight here, and then you can have just a frame with another light out here that's then just like making this glow. And that's what I would have done. And that's all that I see here. You have a little bit, what is that? That's coming from over here. Looks kind of green. Maybe the windows are green. That happens. Boom. Yep, same shot. Same shot. They even have this kind of bright. I think what they did is they brightened it up to make it look like the sun, even though the sun is coming in over here. Yeah. To make it not look so dark. But you have some green there. What is that green? Huh. I have no idea. That might be just a reflection of his shirt? I don't know. No, because there's green up here. Who knows? Maybe they put a backdrop out there. I'll never know. Forever. Boom. So is that it? How long are we recording for? Oh my gosh. It's a minute 20. Holy shoot. I hope you guys got something out of this. As far as like fixtures that you could use to light this, let's break that down. So they had, like for the interior stuff, we can start with interior first. They had the window, so that was 1, 2, 3 sources minimum. I would have had 4. So you have 3 that you rely on. You have a 4th one as a backup to like bounce in the walls or something for just fill. And I would have done like at least a 1200 D. And then you could do 2 600s. I would have done 600X. Gosh, I really wish this was an X, because that would make a lot of sense. You know what? Screw that. You could do the NAND light. Again, going back to the NAND light. Light. So they have a 1200. They have a 1200 bicolor. Oh, it's 1200B for bicolor. That's right. They have a, so now you can have 1200 watts full, 1200 watts of tungsten. You'd have 2 600s, so that covers, in that one room you had the window, you had another window, and that had this one had shears, and then you had the back room with the light shooting through it. And so this one would be a 1200, and I would make these 2 6s, 600. And then I would have like probably either another 600 or just like a 300 X off to the side to bounce into, like, say, a white card or to bounce into a wall or something. For the night scene, I would have used, again, you have that one window. I would have used a 600 shooting up into a white card, the 1200 shooting down for sunlight, and then over here for that other window, I would have used another 600 into like a 216 frame to make it give that nice soft glow. So that's what I would. So those are those fixtures there. That's what I would have used for shooting this commercial. So you can get away with what is it, 1200 B, 2 600 X's, and then just white cards, white, 4x4 white. I did that backwards. And then 4x4 216. And then for the exterior stuff, I would have done like a 12 by like half grid for the overhead, just to cut the mainly that's only for the car scene. Everything else, and then you would want like a 12 by ultra on just in case if you're outside and you need to push light on a face. So between these white cards and then the ultra, you're covered, man. Yeah, there you go. And that's it. I hope you enjoyed this this little breakdown, this lighting breakdown. Nobody's perfect. I probably got some. First off, I want to say that you can't get everything right whenever you can't see everything. So behind the scenes would help a lot. Here's the thing. Even though some of the fixtures might be, oh, you know what? They use tube lights as well. And you could have like a couple tubes. 2 tubes. There you go. What was I going to say? So, none of this is exact, right? But it is a great ballpark, and it's this gear list is definitely something that I would have used to, and could have, and definitely would have, had I had the job to use to light the show. And so I hope you got something out of this, and if you like these breakdowns, then stick around, because I'm going to keep doing them. Peace.